Hello, everyone. Welcome to Start the Week with Spencer. This is our weekly webinar where parents with children with special needs join us from all around the world and they ask us their questions. And we always invite parents to ask us their biggest and sometimes toughest questions so that we can help them in whatever way is needed with their children. Here at Doman International, we coach parents of children with special needs with holistic solutions for their children. And parents, as I said, join us with questions, whether you're watching right now on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. Type your questions into the comments box and we will answer them in order. Today is a very special day. We do this once a month. It's called Victory Day. And on Victory Day, we like to share the stories of children who are on the Doman Method, children with special needs, who have had wins this month. These are children who have come to our locations around the world, had an appointment. Our staff have assessed them and created a customized program for them. And so we'd like to talk about what are some of the changes these children have had in the last 6 months since they've been on the Doman Method. So I actually have a PowerPoint presentation that I'm going to be sharing, and we can look at this together. All right, Colleen, can you see the first slide?
Right now it's frozen a little bit, but there we go. Now it's the first slide. Thank you.
Yep. Okay. And do you see the slide with Charlotte now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to start by talking about Charlotte, and Charlotte is 16 years old. And Charlotte came to our European center in Italy to have her evaluation, and she has a diagnosis of Down syndrome. And I like to point out before I start talking about Charlotte that, she is 16 years old. Many times parents will ask us at Doman International, is it possible for young adults, teenagers, to have successes with the Doman Method? The answer is absolutely yes. And I think Charlotte is a great example of that. So before starting the Doman Method, Charlotte faced a lot of challenges with fine motor skills. So writing was very difficult for her and tiring. She had really a limited endurance and stamina for physical activities like running, and her communication skills were not developed. She had challenges with speaking, communicating her needs, and also challenges in independence in daily responsibilities, right? And one of the biggest goals of the Doman Method is helping children learn to walk, talk, and succeed in their independence in life. And you'll see us talk a lot about independence today. And so Charlotte, after starting the Doman Method program, through our various programs, including our nutrition and respiratory programs, Charlotte's health greatly improved, and her stamina, because we were able to develop her breathing and her respiratory system, greatly improved. So now she has much better stamina with physical activities. And she does things now, like she participates in running races, and she's much more independent now because she's learned independent skills with chores around the house. Here you see a video of Charlotte. And you can see she's in a class. And what she's doing here is you can see that her hand strength and her coordination have improved. So now she's participating in art classes. And she's doing an activity where she's making mosaics, which requires very good fine motor skills and visual focus. And also she's working independently in a group of neurotypical adults. So she's not attending classes for children with special needs. She's attending classes with other teenagers and adults. She's also had improvements in communication and independence. So her speech and communication has gotten better. She's also become more mature. She can express herself more clearly. She can follow a routine. A big part of the Doman Method is teaching a child how to carry out their program in an organized way, following a routine. I was speaking to a family this week with an adult who greatly improved with the Doman method. This was someone who had had a traumatic brain injury. And they said one of the best things about the program for their adult child was it gave them a sense of structure and meaning each day. And their adult child became far more independent and resourceful because of the program. And so Charlotte has been taking part in daily responsibilities at home. And here you can see she's in her class, she's learning certain arts and crafts. Charlotte lives in Italy, so her instructor is speaking to her in Italian. Charlotte's actually bilingual. She speaks two languages. And you can see there her fine motor skills have gotten quite good. Now she's participating in activities, she's more confident, and she shows determination. Let's see, is this here you can see her doing things more independently. So congratulations to Charlotte and to her family. Next, we have Hannah. Hannah is 12 years old. Hannah is actually Charlotte's sister. So we do have certain families on the Doman method that do the program with two different children. And so that's what this family is doing. So Hannah is 12 years old and also has a diagnosis of Down syndrome. And Hannah, before the program, had challenges with really having a very limited diet. It's something that we see commonly with children with special needs where they might be very picky eaters, they may refuse to eat many foods, so and very often they're unhealthy processed foods, sugary foods, and so it's hard to get them eating a healthy diet. And for Hannah, with the nutrition program, which is part of the Doman International program for every child, she had a health victory, meaning she had no illnesses for 12 months. So her health has become incredibly strong. Many people don't realize that the average child uh, today will have 8 to 12 illnesses a year. So it means many children once a month are getting ill. And for children with special needs, it's far more often than that. So for a child with special needs on the Doman method to go a full 12 months without an illness is a huge achievement for them. And a lot of that has to do with expanding her diet, giving her many more healthy foods. So she eats more variety, right, of meats, fruits, vegetables, grains, and then removing junk food. Her socialization has greatly improved. She started to attend lessons in modern dance with in a neurotypical a group of neurotypical children, and she adapted beautifully. With the Doman method, we really want children, as I said, to succeed in school and in life and to be independent. And a big part of that is when children have had big wins with the program, we like to introduce them to classes with children who are neurotypical to give them an opportunity to be with other children their age, learn to adapt, to be with a group, learning in a class from a teacher. And that's what Hannah's been doing very successfully. So I think we've got a video here of her in her dance class. This is Hannah here. And here you can see she's following the instructions of the teacher. She sees she's being filmed by parents. And I have to say for many parents, this would be a dream, right? For many parents of children with special needs, the idea of their child succeeding in a classroom setting is just a monumental achievement. And you can see there her ability to follow instructions is phenomenal. Now she eats a full variety of vegetables, no longer a picky eater, because we've been able to gradually add variety to her diet, and that has been incredibly helpful. Here's more videos from her dance class. As part of her Doman Method program, Hannah has also had gymnastics, which is very important for developing balance and coordination. So you can see here, balance and coordination for children with Down syndrome and other neurodevelopmental delays is very difficult. But here you can see she moves with a lot of confidence, and you can see she's really physically excellent and very, very elegant in her dancing ability. Far more elegant than I would be for sure. Okay, next we have Matilda. And Colleen, can you see the slide on Matilda now?
Yes, yes, we can.
Perfect. And Matilda is age 3, and Matilda has a diagnosis of Cohen syndrome. So it's interesting. This every month is different. You know, some months we have younger children, sometimes older children, sometimes we have children with diagnoses of cerebral palsy, and sometimes autism. We have hundreds of different diagnoses, but this month we seem to have many children with diagnoses of congenital syndromes, and these children, even though they're very often given bad prognoses by let's say the medical system, they can greatly develop when they are given a program focused on their brain development. So for example, we saw with Charlotte and Hannah, so many of the predictions that are given to children with Down syndrome are not coming true with them. For example, very often children with Down syndrome have major problems with balance and coordination. You can see they're quite coordinated. These are, I didn't even talk about their great cognitive abilities, their reading abilities, that again, academic skills tend to come very, with a lot of challenge to children with Down syndrome. So children, when they're given the right stimulation and opportunity, even with genetic diagnoses, can have incredible results. And I think some of the children we're seeing this week are great examples of this. So Cohen syndrome comes from the mutation of a specific gene. And this gene helps the cells of the body stay healthy and communicate well. And when the gene doesn't work properly, it can really affect a child's ability to grow, learn, develop strong muscles, and have a strong immune system, meaning they can have frequent illnesses. And so when Matilda, in her first years of life, showed challenges with growth, learning, strength of her muscles, limited mobility, certain fears, phobias, and comprehension and reading skills. Since starting the Doman program, Matilda, first of all, had an understanding victory. So Matilda is, it says at the top of this slide, 16 years. That's a mistake. She's 3 years old, but she actually understands at age level. As part of her last evaluation, the Doman International Evaluator looked at all of her abilities and saw that she is understanding at age level. And that achieved her, she received an understanding victory. She shows stronger comprehension and understanding skills. She can now follow simple instructions consistently. You can make deals with Matilda. You can say, okay, Matilda, if you do this, I'll give you this. And she'll understand that kind of deal making. So she's very bright. On the right there, you can see her taking a photo with a camera. Also at this visit, Matilda received a reading victory. In her recent evaluation, we took single words and also sentences, and we evaluated her reading ability. As part of the Doman Method, we teach children to read well before their school age. And Matilda, at the age of 3, surprised her parents by pointing to the correct words when asked. This, as you can imagine, for any 3-year-old, it's amazing to see them read. But for a 3-year-old with a special needs diagnosis, even more incredible. She has become more mobile and also courageous. I explained before she was quite fearful before she started the program. Now she is much more confident. She began running and jumping independently. She overcame her fear of animals. Now she shows curiosity and bravery in new situations. And I'd like to point out something like fears are often thought of as psychological symptoms, but Matilda uh, is just more courageous and curious now because of her brain development. Her movement skills are also progressing steadily. So we've got a great video here. It's great because parents have slowed it down to show Matilda's running ability. Parents have done a brilliant job here slowing it down to show that she's getting airborne, getting her feet up off the ground at the same time. That is our definition of running. Running is when both of your feet leave the ground for a split second. And by the way, this is a 3-year-old level. Matilda is 3 years old. So it means in terms of her mobility, which is, problem with strength and mobility skills is a common symptom of her diagnosis. But for Matilda, she is running with confidence. Let's watch that video one more time. And you can see here, for a split second, she's getting both of her feet up off the ground at the same time, which is really phenomenal. Here is a video of her and her sister riding a camel. Again, she went from being incredibly fearful of animals to now jumping on the back of a camel. That's pretty impressive. And she looked pretty happy up there with her sister. So, from early comprehension and limited movement to now reading, running, being fearless, Matilda is just a great example of what can be achieved with the Doman program. So, congratulations to Matilda and to her parents. One more video here of her riding. We're very proud of our international crowd. So far, we've seen children from France, Italy, and now Portugal. These are all families that came to our European Center in Italy this last month. All right, next we have Oakley. Oakley is from the UK and is 3 years old. And his diagnoses include severe microcephaly and lissencephaly, and also drug resistant epilepsy. Drug resistant epilepsy, meaning that Oakley has seizures that have not yet been helped by medication. Yeah, so before the program, Oakley faced many challenges, including microcephaly and lissencephaly. Microcephaly meaning having a small head, complex drug resistant epilepsy with intense seizures. And he often was getting high dose medications without being helped. Difficulty maintaining his health. Cortical visual impairment, meaning he could not see because of an injury in the cortex, a part of his brain, and limited comprehension and ability to follow instructions. And since beginning the Doman program, Oakley received a seeing victory while he has been on the program. This he received in the past. He progressed from not seeing when he started the program. He had cortical visual impairment. He could not see. Now to being able to see and even differentiate simple pictures. So we could hold up simple pictures for Oakley, let's say a ball and a car, and say, okay, Oakley, where's the ball? And he could differentiate those pictures for us, showing he had gone from being functionally blind to now seeing, which is a huge achievement. I've got a great video here of mom and Oakley together, and Oakley is laughing in this video, which is not something he did before, and he's just laughing with great delight as his mom plays with him, and is a great example of how far he's come.
I don't know how it is for our viewers, Spencer, but it is a little broken up on my side. So
Oh, got it.
yeah, people, if people want, they should follow them on Instagram, because she's posted this video there too, and it's very fun and sweet, and you can see how much delight Oakley has. He is just laughing his head off, having the best time ever. So it's really sweet.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And could you look up the Instagram handle,
Yes, and I'll
Colleen?
put
I'm
that in
pretty
the
sure it's Acorn Updates, but I don't want to give the wrong name.
yeah, I'll do that right now. Thank you.
Oakley's understanding has also greatly improved. He achieved an understanding program while he's been on understanding victory while he's been on the program. He can now follow 1 to 2 step instructions. He responds when he's motivated by his family and laughs appropriately, showing awareness and engagement with his family. One of the great things about his last visit at our center in Italy is that he received a detoxification victory. So Oakley finally became free from anti-seizure medications, and his seizures are now less intense, giving him a calmer, more stable brain and body. So he went from, intense seizures, limited comprehension, severe visual challenges to calmer days, better understanding, following directions, and engaging with his family and seeing the world around him. So, congratulations to Oakley and to his family. And last but not least, we have Matteo. Matteo is 11 years old and received the diagnosis of autism. And before starting the Doman International program, Matteo had several different health and developmental challenges. He had very low vitamin D levels, which made him very immune compromised and prone to many illnesses. He had liver function markers and high TSH, meaning thyroid, suboptimal thyroid function, presence of certain viruses, and having really big challenges with calmness, meaning he was very hyperactive, and problems with understanding and speech. So now at his last visit, Matteo received a health victory, meaning he had 12 months of perfect health, no illnesses, which for a child who had viruses before the program, all kinds of suboptimal thyroid issues, low vitamin D, he was very prone to illnesses before. So that's a huge achievement for him. And one of the reasons why we work so hard to get perfect health for children is not just to keep them healthy, which improves their life and their entire family's life, but also it allows them to do our program more consistently. And when a child can do their Doman Method program consistently, they get much, much better results. Consistency is key to having success with the program. So through a targeted nutrition program created by our nutrition team and the right supplementation, Matteo's health stabilized. Now he has no major health concerns, which might have seemed like a dream in the past, and now has a much stronger foundation for learning and communication. Matteo has also become calmer and more focused, a big concern for children with the autism diagnosis. His speech has shown remarkable progress. His mom told me in the last 6 months, the biggest change was his increased vocabulary. He's talking a lot more. He's also constructing longer sentences. He's using more sophisticated words. Often they're words he's learning in his Doman reading program. And he's having better and better conversational skills with others, which at the age of 11 has been needed for a long time. So greatly improved health and greatly improved speech. Big achievements for Matteo and to his family. So we congratulate them for all of their hard work. Okay, well, let me try to stop sharing my screen if I can. There we go. Okay, so that is Victory Day for November. So I always like to say those are not children that we picked especially for this presentation. These were parents who told us that they were comfortable with being involved in Victory Day. And we invite every parent, every family who comes for an appointment. So we really thank the parents for sharing the photos and videos of their children and allowing us to talk about the changes of their children. Because I think for many parents who are just learning about the Doman Method, it's very inspiring to see the changes that some of these children have. I see that Colleen has put here, for those of you who want to follow what Oakley is doing, who I showed that video of him laughing, but it wasn't super clear. If you go to Acorn Updates on Instagram, you can follow Oakley. And I'm not sure if I told you this, Colleen, when we were at our center in Europe, we were just sitting in the waiting room, and Oakley's family was sitting there, and there was another family who they had never spoken to who were also sitting there. And the family said to me, before they even said anything to Oakley's family, they said to me, is that Oakley? And I said, yeah, that's Oakley. And they said, we found out about the program from watching a video of Oakley online.
Oh,
And they'd never spoken to the family before. Yeah, it was pretty remarkable
that's spectacular.
how far his story has traveled online, which is amazing. Very inspiring.
He's really
Well,
he's become a bit of a star.
a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Wonderful.
Yeah. Well, everyone, so now we've come to the end of our Victory Day presentation. I am happy to go to questions. I received one previously submitted question from last week because I wasn't here. A mom named Virginia asked if she says that her son covers his ears pretty much all of the time when he's outside the house. And she wants to know, why does he do that and what she can do about it. So this is a very common symptom that we see with children with neurodevelopmental issues where they cover their ears. And the reason is nearly always the same, which is auditory hypersensitivity, meaning oversensitivity to sounds. And my guess, Virginia, why your son does this when he's outside of the house is when you're indoors, sounds tend to be far more manageable and predictable. But as soon as you step outside, now you're in an unpredictable environment. You imagine walking out on the street, you never know what sounds are going to be heard or where they're coming from, right? So it could be a car around the corner, it could be someone shouting, could be construction work with a drill. You never know what sound is coming next. And so for a child who's hypersensitive to sounds, that can even be fear-inducing because they don't know what sound is coming next or how painful it's going to be for them. Many of us are aware that when an injury happens in the brain, it can lead to rigid muscles, tight muscles. So, for example, you'll see people sometimes who have had a brain injury and they have very rigid arms and legs, right? Something we typically see. But what many people don't realize is when an injury occurs in the brain, it can also lead to tight eye muscles and ear muscles. So the eye muscles and the ear muscles become rigid. And unfortunately, when the ear muscles become rigid, it leads to hypersensitivity to sounds. So imagine here, these are the inner ear muscles. We have very thin inner ear muscles inside of our ears. And sounds come in waves. Most people have heard of sound waves. And the problem is if those inner ear muscles are rigid, sometimes those sound waves are absorbed too much. And that creates pain, right? They're absorbing the sound too much. It creates chaos for the child, pain, frustration, and many children protect themselves by covering their ears. So in the short term, what I would recommend for a child like this is helping them cope with this issue, at least in the short term, with either earplugs or with a noise cancellation headphone. So earplugs, there are many different kinds of earplugs, but the one that our children have told us they like the most are silicone earplugs. Silicone earplugs are kind of like a wax, and they form to the size and the fit of the child's ear. So you can actually put them in the ear. They're often used for swimming for children, for example, to avoid water getting in the ear. So silicone earplugs tend to be very good. Or some parents will get noise cancellation headphones, which are headphones that go over the ears that they don't block all sound, they just reduce the amount of sound. Now, the earplugs and the noise cancellation headphones will not cure the hypersensitivity to hearing, but they will provide temporary relief. Sometimes parents will say, "Oh, but maybe we should just expose the child to those sounds." The problem is, in our experience, because those sounds are painful, they often lead to a child avoiding them, right? So the child doesn't want to go outside, or if they go outside, they don't want to interact with others. And so providing them with a bit of temporary relief with earplugs or headphones can be really helpful for calming them and letting them deal with those environments. In the meantime, we can do different programs that will help improve brain development and reduce that hypersensitivity to sounds. And Colleen, I know we've gotten questions from Virginia before in the past. Do you happen to know what books she has? Do you know, does she have the Doman Method from Special Needs to
I
Wellness?
believe that's the one. Yes, I think
Okay,
that's the one.
got it. In our books, I would especially recommend the mobility programs that are detailed in the books, because the mobility programs really can help with development of the midbrain. And the midbrain is the part of the brain that is important for auditory processing. So, for example, crawling and creeping are really great activities for reducing hypersensitivity to sounds. So, yeah, Virginia, I definitely recommend, the physical programs in the books would be helpful. And that's where I'd start.
All right, great. I will make sure that she knows that too. I will message her in case she's not here
Perfect.
today. I don't think that she is, because usually she jumps into the comments. So miss
Yeah,
you, Virginia. We'll see you next week, I hope.
perfect.
Terrific.
All right, I'll give everyone maybe 1 or 2 more minutes to type any questions in, whether you're joining right now on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube. This is our weekly webinar. We take questions from parents all around the world. So whatever your question is about your children, go ahead and type them into the comments box. While I'm waiting for my last question, Colleen, maybe we could take this moment for a quick announcement to talk about where Doman International is having appointments
Yes.
over the next few months.
Yes.
So
Please, yeah.
I'm actually in Dubai right now. We're doing appointments here, which is amazing. We have families coming from all around the Middle East for appointments, which is wonderful. Our next trip is to California. We have evaluations the first week of December in Santa Barbara, California, if you want to come and see us there. In January, we have appointments at our European Center in Pisa, Italy. So any European families who want to be seen there, or families in the Middle East, it's a great option. In February, we have appointments in Australia and New Zealand. In March, we're going to be in...
I think we're full.
Are we?
We are full for
Wow.
Australia and New Zealand. Now, I was told that there's perhaps room for just evaluations,
Okay.
but the full appointments that are available are full.
Are booked. Wow. Great.
Yeah.
So in March, we're going to be in Serbia and Croatia. That's when we see all of our Balkans families. In April, we're back in Italy. And then in May, we have appointments in India. Colleen, anything else you want to add to that?
Those are all the places we're traveling. We have appointments available pretty much year round at our offices outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We also do our remote appointments, but we are scheduling about 6 to 8 weeks out. And some of that is on purpose because we want to give you time to, prepare. We're going to prepare you. There's a lot to learn in the run up to an appointment so that it can be really effective. And then some of that is because of space. So we do, we do limit the number of families that we see in a week because we want to make sure that especially new families, are getting as much time as they need. So, if you're considering an appointment for 2026, please get in touch with me sooner rather than later. Don't think, oh, well, we're not thinking about going until March, so I'll contact her in, end of February. We will most likely be full by that time.
Yeah, it's a great point, because I think sometimes parents at this time of year say, okay, perfect, we'll reach out in beginning of January in the new year.
Yeah.
And the thing is, everyone kind of thinks that way. And as Colleen knows, especially earlier this year, there were times where we were booking out 3-4 months in advance, where, parents were contacting us and we were saying, they were contacting us in May and we were telling them, we'll have to see you in August. And sometimes they weren't happy about that. And it was just an unfortunate situation. So yeah, if you're interested in an appointment, contact us now, and then we can plan for the right time for you and your family.
That's right. Yeah, we hate saying no.
Yeah.
We'd really rather say yes.
We've got a great question here from Ella.
I know Ella. Hi, Ella.
Oh, you know Ella. Okay,
Yes,
perfect.
yeah.
So Ella is a mom of a 3-month-old with Down syndrome. How can I stimulate his grasp reflex? I hold his little hands with my thumb and he grasps, but releases quickly, and it does not seem to get stronger. How quickly should he improve? Great question. And fortunately for you, Ella, just because of the nature of some of my work, I've spent some time with here in Dubai with some babies. My sister and I have been working with some infants here. So what I would recommend you do, Ella, is as you're doing, you put your thumb into your 3-month-old's hands, okay? But then what I want you to do, once he's grasped, I want you to then lift his arms over his head. Now, I should have said this at the beginning. The first thing you're going to do is go ahead and put your baby on his back, okay? So he's facing you, and he grasps onto your thumbs, right? You're above him, and he's grasping onto your thumbs, and you're going to lift his hands up over his head, and I just want you to try to have him continue that grasp for about 5 seconds. Okay, so you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Great job. And something that it can be very helpful is sometimes when you pull the arms, those hands up, okay, because it's actually providing a form of resistance on your baby's hands, it actually reinforces the grasp reflex. So you'll feel very often that grasp getting stronger and stronger and stronger as you lift the arms up. So I would start with that, Ella. Now, once your child can do that for about 5 seconds, then what you can start to do, right? Imagine this is your baby on their back. You're going to then bring their hands like this so they're in front of him. And then we're going to begin to lift him up into the sitting position. Okay. But first, we've got to get him holding on for 5 seconds onto your thumbs with his hands above your head. Okay. Then we're going to begin, once he's really good in that grasp reflex, we can begin the process of basically having him do a sit up while holding on to your thumbs. All right. So that's step number 1. I'm thinking, do you know, Colleen, what books Ella has read? Has she read any of our books yet?
Yes. I think Ella's got the Doman Method from Special Needs to Wellness, and possibly some others. I'm sorry,
Okay,
Ella. I should look back in our messages. I'm going to message you after this session anyway, so we can,
Yeah, probably. Yeah, Ella, the best book for you is the Doman Method from Special Needs to Wellness. There's also a wonderful book called How Smart Is Your Baby that talks about many of the many good programs that can be started in the first 6 months of life. But I think you're exactly on the right track. Looking at the grasp reflex, it's a great way to improve manual skills. And Ella, I'm not sure if you saw this at the very beginning of the presentation. I showed some videos of some 2 girls with Down syndrome, one age 12, one age 16, Charlotte and Hannah. and some of the successes they've had on the program. And I'll say Charlotte and Hannah started the program much, much older than Ella says all of them. Okay, great.
Yeah, she got thank you for reminding me.
Yeah.
I thought it was more than just the one.
Perfect. So so those two girls started the program far later than you're starting with your baby. So you're getting started at the exact right time.
And I know that they're planning to come to see us.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes. So in Italy.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So at some point in the not too distant future. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. The actually all of the children we reported on in this month's Victory Day came to see us in Italy. I noticed, and that's because we were reporting on the last month, and we had visits in Italy in the last month.
They have a beautiful crawling track, black and white. He's already doing time in the track, cheered on by siblings. It's a wonderful, beautiful family. We can't wait to meet you in person.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
All right, Colleen, I don't see any other questions. Any final words you want to share, Colleen, before we sign off?
Everyone, thank you for joining us, continuing to join us. I can't believe it's just a few weeks from the end of the year. So, continue to join our sessions and reach out. Yeah, Spencer's putting my contact information. I say this every week, but it really is true. There's never any obligation if you're asking for information. We really want to get to the heart of, what's going to help your family most. And for many families, it is coming for an appointment with us, which is fabulous, but we have other resources. So, please get in touch. Don't feel shy. And we'll share everything with you so that you can get going.
Colleen, did I put up your correct phone number?
It is correct. Yes.
I've learned it. It's taken me 10 months of regular repetition.
Frequency, intensity.
That's right. All right.
So yeah, that's my WhatsApp number, phone number. Just message me or email.
Perfect. All right, Colleen, thank you so much for being here. Everyone, thanks so much for joining. Have a great rest of your week. See you back here at the same time next Monday. Bye-bye.